7:32 p.m. on June 15, 2016. First item of business this evening is a renewal of an existing wetlands permit for dredging of an on-site pond for 28 Foxton Way. I recused myself on that application, so I'll recuse myself now. So if Jack, if you want to take over.
Okay. Any issues with that, Terry?
Nothing has been done. I'm not aware of any issues. We had a permit before and not done any work.
So we just need a motion to renew the permit?
Correct.
Okay, if somebody...
So moved.
And a second on that? Okay, we have a motion to approve in a second, so that's...
All right.
Oh, and so we need a vote on that. All in favor?
Aye.
And we'll seat Josh for Bob on that. So that's 5 yays, no nays, no abstentions.
Thanks.
Okay. Next time on the agenda, Crestview Lake Association, 100 Center Road, application to dredge stream channel and delta in lake at stream outlet. Mr. Gearing, do you want to come up on that? I don't know how that got that way from 20 to 24 Crestview Drive.
All right. Let's just say something. Application.
Yeah.
I think it's the meringue stick.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but anyways, it's Crestview. Mr. Gearing, why
right.
tell us what's going on?
Well, I have some pictures. The last question, I believe Mr. Bixler wanted to know where we're going to put the silt. So I have some diagrams here. Can I bring them up?
Sure.
First thing is to show you where the red lines are where we get water from. That's where the water comes. It's one, and this is where we want to put the silt, the X's. It looks like a big dog bone. That is the ditch. On the very end is the delta. This is the beginning of the inflow, and this is the outflow. That's the little island we have on the end. Got one Bob here.
I like to look on with Dave, that's fine.
We've I also have some pictures of the from the start to the end of the this is the beginning, and then it'll go to show you where this is the silt in the ditch. It's worse than this now. These pictures were taken in 2013. So it is a little bit worse now. This is again, he's mentioning that where the delta is starting, that the island has started and has formed now. This is a picture, part of the island out there that we're going to use the extended machine. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't give you the one.
Okay, thank you. So the plan is to remove the entire island that's formed?
We'd like to, because the pond used to be 10 feet. Right now, we're 6 feet. And so a lot of this has happened. And contrary to Terry's, it has to have come from the Elderslie retention pond. I know I've been told it was cleaned by Charlie Whiting and 7 or 8 of his Boy Scouts, but they only had small pails, and there's no way they could have picked up all the soils that came off when the Elderslie retention basin went. And so it's taken a long time. We started this with the conservation people in '03, and it's been going on and on and on, and 12, we worked on it even more, and
Yeah.
we haven't gotten any place, so that's why we're here now. We've got to do something, because the water's backing up because of that.
Yeah, conceptually, I don't think, as we talked about last year when you were here, I don't think anybody has a problem with, getting the dredging done. We just wanted to be sure where the silt, the removed material was going to be going. Do you have somebody, a contractor lined up yet?
Oh,
or
yeah,
you do?
yeah, Bill Grieger.
Okay. all
And
right.
he's already given us, and in fact, he's the fellow that I spoke with, and he calculated. And I saw a letter from,
Piscola.
yeah, and he just about agreed the same thing. I guess he calculates about 300 yards.
Mhm.
And that, in fact, when the Ellerslie Basin let go, that was Johnny's first job when he came to work for the town.
Mhm.
So and I stood with him and Russ Stoddard and myself looking at it down and wondering where all that soil was going to go. But so we're hoping, if we get an approval, sometime towards the end of August.
Mhm.
We had a meeting with members of the association, and everybody is in agreement with that we should do something. If we wait too much longer, it'll start to become a swamp. And so we really have to do something, because it's one. I don't see any more silting coming in now. It looks pretty clean. I walked it the other day through the swamp on the other side of Crestview, going back up towards Black Brook and what's water, the little water's coming down from Elderslie. And there's no silt in the brook, so it looks like this will stop it.
Does Grieger think that he can get the entire delta out?
Right,
or-
he's got part of the cost is to lease a 60-foot reach backhoe. And I walked out on it when it was frozen, and it's 48 feet from the shore. So he said we've got plenty, with 60 feet we can get it, we can clean it right up.
And the 200 yards from the delta.
But it's all gonna be, he said it'll all fit right here. Everything's gonna be fine right there.
And
This is
he'll just keep taking it and spreading all
right,
that.
we'll clean this first and put it all, this is a pretty good sized area here.
Yeah.
And then he'll work his way back and just keep putting it alongside.
So most of the delta stuff will go
Everything will
right.
be on that side of the ditch, right. That's the right of way that on that side of the ditch. This is privately owned. Mrs. Robbins is here. She has
Right, I
a little,
understand.
but she's lost the ability to use her canal, so to speak, with a kayak and a canoe, because this is now moving over there. It's plugged that up. So
And how has Grieger proposed to stabilize the dredge material up on the hill
it'll
there?
dry. It's going to dry out. Then we're going to rake it, and we're going to seed it. All the members. We had a meeting Sunday, and the members of the association will assist, and we'll seed it all. And he said the grass should jump right out of the ground, so that'll stabilize it.
Yeah.
But we don't want it to go back in.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, silt fences or something like that. Is he planning to put silt fences?
I haven't asked him that. I had asked him to come to the meeting tonight. I left a message, but I got a message when they came home that he could not make it. And I had called him yesterday, and I got a message saying, I don't know what went by, but I thought he would be able to explain it. I don't know. I mean, I know the engineer, Bobby Criscola, he said that he put 9 inches on top of what's already there. We may be able to put some kind of a little barrier as the machine backs out, dig a little barrier so that it'll keep anything from going back into the ditch. I don't know if the silt fence, it'd be hard to put a silt fence up with it, with them working.
Yeah. Is this something, Terry, that we just basically delegate a bunch of authority to you once, the general authority to do the dredging is done, so you could work something with Grieger on this?
Well, certainly, with these sorts of things, a pre-excavation meeting that you've suggested in the past have worked out well, so that we decide who's doing what
Right.
and when they're doing that. In terms of the start of the project, in terms of the pre activity meeting. I also think that it's only practical to use some sort of device, siltation device, between the deposit of material on shore, and you just don't want it filling it back in as fast as you put it.
Oh, no,
So-
absolutely not.
So-
No way in hell.
Right, so I think that, and we've used this effectively on ponds on Racebrook Road, by the way, that Mr. Grieger has done, where he deposits the material on the other side of the silt fence and/or hay bale. Because it's going to be very wet material when it comes
No
out.
doubt about it.
Even during the dry time, it's going to be wet material. So I think that some sort of device has to be placed so that you don't just repeat and continually do it. But that sort of detail, while you can't delegate this specifically to me because it's in a wetland, those details I'd be happy to assist in.
How about the soil that's coming out of the channel? Will be able to support this reseeding that's being proposed? Will stuff grow in it?
You're asking me that question?
Yeah.
I don't know the material that's coming out. I'm presuming that it's that it's not sandy, that it's more silty than sandy.
I really haven't reached into it, Terry. I mean, it does support right along, there are places where the water level seems to have dropped a little bit, and the grass starts to grow right away.
It's likely to be
It's
in
a nice
high
lawn.
organic material. Whether or not it will support the seeding effort, it remains to be seen, and what kind of
And
material
Jack,
it
here
is.
in this picture, might give you an idea. It looks to be sort of delta, so there's quite a bit
Stuff growing.
growing there.
The,
If that's any.
the delta is growing. The delta is growing beautiful
Yeah,
grass.
that's
it's
what
a
I
nice
was
lawn.
just
Yeah.
saying to.
In fact, we
Jack.
can't clean it. We're going to have to start mowing it because it's almost by the end of the summer, it'll be up to my waist.
So it probably will, as Mr. Grieger apparently said, grass should grow quickly.
Well, I mean, if it is what George says it is siltation, it's likely to be high in organic material.
Oh, I think so.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I think so, Terry. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's any problem with the bank with it growing. What's there when they did the original, they dug the ditch. That grew. That was waist high. Gets to be. So I think it'll be fairly rich.
So going back to this piece of equipment with the 60-foot reach,
60-foot reach. We're going to use that machine for the island. Then he's bringing in he has a smaller machine that he's going to bring in, and then we're going to use that to do the actual ditch, the ditch itself. He's leasing that machine for one day, and that's where we'll start with. Then we'll start with the island, then work our way. Once he finishes that, then he may wait a day. I'm not sure what his plans are, but then he'll bring his machine in, and it's a short machine, so it'll be not a problem.
and so where will that machine track?
Right, there's a path there right now. There's a walkway right now. It's a flat surface area, probably
Right along
maybe 3 times the width of these tables. It's probably
Would that be
10,
where the
12
X's
feet.
are on your diagram?
what's that?
Would that be where the X's are on your
Right,
diagram?
right alongside the ditch is a quasi road, so to speak, and then the other side of that is where we'll be putting the soil. There's 30 some odd feet from the ditch over, so there's plenty of space there. And we're only going down a couple of feet, so it's not like we're going to take truckloads of stuff out. It's not going to be. We're just taking it down to 3 feet. It used to be 5 feet when it was first built. Mesa Construction built it, and it was 5 feet, but we're only going to get down to 3 feet.
Well, 500 cubic yards is a lot of material.
A lot of material, absolutely, yeah. Oh, I realize that.
Terry, what's the limit on material movement before we run into planning and zoning?
The excavation and fill permit is 1,000 square feet.
Oh, okay. 1,000 square feet?
I think, excuse me,
1,000.
cubic feet.
Cubic feet.
So we're well within
Sque-
No, wait a
cubic
minute.
yards.
Yards or feet?
Pardon me, you're absolutely right, cubic yards.
Yards.
So we're well
So
within.
I think we're well within the excavation and fill permitting process. And this only has to do with this waterway from Crestview to the pond. this is not deepening the pond, right?
No, well, the little apron on the end, we've got to bring that back there. That should be, I'm not sure what the depth was before it was thing, but it used to be, like I said, it used to be 10 feet. I went out the other day in my boat and a couple different locations. I mean, we're getting 5 and 6 feet, so there's been a lot of silt has worked its way into the pond.
But we're not, the scope of your application,
Oh, no.
the scope of your work does not anticipate lowering the depth of the pond.
Oh, no,
Right.
no, absolutely
Okay.
not.
Okay.
No, and we'll have I expect a visit from the state momentarily. They're due every so many years to look because they call the spillway a dam. And so we always have to go around and around circles. And I'm going to get Amy Morella to be there, I think, when it comes this time.
You don't want it to be a dam.
No, I don't. No,
Right.
and if you get the right guy, it's not a dam. The other one guy, it's a dam. The other guy, it's a spillway. So depending on who comes.
Okay, anybody else have any other questions? I mean, on this one, I think we have to delegate a fair amount of discretion to Terry to deal with situations out there as it presents when they actually go out to do the work, so. But at least we have an idea of quantity of material, where it's being taken from, where it's being placed, and Terry will be sure there's precautions as far as stabilization that occur.
You know, the news that you've hired a contractor means that we can I intend to get a detailed plan from the contractor to exactly how he's going to be doing this. He's been.
I didn't know that, so.
Well, I'm telling you now, because if they're delegating it to me, I want you guys to know that I think that, previous to this point, there hasn't been a contractor selected. You were talking, as late as last week, you were talking to other contractors.
Right, exactly.
So if you selected one now, we haven't wanted to make the guy that didn't get the job make the plan, but there now needs to be a plan of exactly how we're going to go about doing
Yeah, I
this.
mean, it's not like it's going to be 10 pages or 15 pages long. It's just supplementing what you've already done, a sequence of events, basically.
Similar as he's did on Racebrook Road
Yeah.
for us on those ponds. So we've actually
Yeah, he knows how to do it.
we've done this before. He's done this before.
I had that. It's Kaplan, the people on Racebrook, that when they did their pond.
Done it twice in the back.
Okay, I have that, Terry. I think I have that.
So it's a fair way of going about that, because we all know what the expectations are, and so we'll do that if you so delegate this to me.
Okay, I don't know, you want to deal with this tonight and just get rid of it and move on? Yeah. Any other discussion, any other questions need to be answered?
No other concerns at this time?
In these sorts of things, the details just matter a great deal. Time of year is essential, and the details matter. But let's get this done.
All right, then do we have a motion to approve the application, subject to usual stipulations, which will also include a pre-excavation meeting with the contractor, soil and erosion control details to be worked out between the wetlands enforcement officer and the contractor, and the contractor to provide a detailed planner sequence of activities with respect to the soil removal.
To Terry with his approval.
Yes. Yeah.
Was a bond necessary?
I don't think so on this one. We're not going to require a bond on this because it's just.
If I had a technical question, I wouldn't hesitate to ask him.
Yeah.
And if I need that sort of assistance,
Mhm.
he's certainly available to us. But I think that.
Oh no, I mean bond.
Bond.
Soil
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said
It's
Bob.
not. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, you have Bob available,
Yeah, Bob.
but here in this situation, I don't think a bond is something to burden the applicant.
I can
with,
only
so.
imagine that this would make it worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Than it
So.
already is.
Anything else? Anyone else wants to add?
No, let's get it done, and the time of the year's coming up, it'd be a good time to do it, right?
If we
Yeah,
have
we'll
if
just-
we have a dry August, sometimes we don't, but.
Okay, then we'll add to the motion the time of the year for the activity to be decided between Terry and the contractor and the applicant, so. Okay, do we have a motion to,
I'll make that motion for the,
okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Dave Speranzini seconded, Jack moved it. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? 5-0. You're approved. So just have Grieger talk to Terry and when you guys will work everything out, okay?
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
All right.
Okay, moving on. Mr. Asparo, 220 Seymour Road. It's just a discussion regarding issues regarding the property. If you want to come on up and sign in.
How are you? Good evening.
Hello. Did you approve, Richard? Did you approve?
Yes.
Approve it? Okay,
The
tell us what you want to tell
I'm
us.
Brian Asparo. Jerry St. Laurent is the property owner. As I'm sure you're aware, the house has been sitting stagnant with no work being done to it, and we had some special permissions to get the building permit from the wetlands, and there were some plants that needed to be planted and maintained. The silt fence needed to be installed and maintained, and there was a drainage easement down the right side of the property that needed to be cleared and maintained. And obviously, that stuff has fallen by the wayside a little bit for the last couple of years. I have some photographs here. I did go there today. The intention is to start construction and finish the home. Up until now, it's a framed shell. Inside, it needs all the electrical is done, all the plumbing is done. It needs sheetrock insulation, kitchen, etc. So the goal is to finish the home, and we wanted to come before you to, although we understand our application is still in place, but more or less a courtesy visit to you to show you some photographs. I did go there today. I bought some new silt fence and installed it. We cut all the grass in front, and my first assessment of the plants were maybe a little early in the spring because they looked like they were dead. Now, really, out of all of them, only 2 were dead. Their growth is certainly being stunted by the 4-foot weeds around them all. So we cleared a path all around each plant, and I aspire to maintain that, and I'm sure that the photographs, if I didn't, there's a lot of before and afters here. I know they all look like the same bush, but they're not. Each one is photographed in itself.
Well, what probably would make sense is, I don't know, Terry, if you have the time sometime between now and next month to just go out there and see what has to be done, and then if there's anything still outstanding.
I'd happy to do that. However, I don't think we should substitute your enforcement officer's observation with the missing 4 years of plant biologist reports that we've never received, that was part of your original approval.
Mm-hmm.
So, while I'm happy to look at something,
Well, yeah,
I think there's a level of expertise that comes with the expectation that you had when you originally approved, which was a clearing of the wetlands.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I perhaps then the better approach might be just to have that just one a report now done to say what's growing and what's not growing there, and what's needs to be done. Because you're right, that's not really your job to do that at this point. So
Well,
So-
I just don't think it's, effective.
Yeah, well, yeah, you may not know which plant is which plant at this,
And I might have different expectations for
Yeah.
that plant.
so that's probably a good point. If you
And there were, I'm sorry to interrupt, there were 2 dead shrubs, and each plant is still marked with the orange and yellow tags, and there were 2 dead that I pulled, and I did call East Haven Landscaping Products, and I ordered 2 of each. So I would replace those for you, and, I would like to bring to light that there is still a $20,000 bond that Jerry provided on the property. And really, if it is a blight, we would like to finish it. And as a matter of fact, my family, my wife and my children are planning on purchasing it and moving it in, so.
I'm sure that's better today.
You said that you cut the grass today?
Yes, we have pictures of it.
Yeah,
Okay. Because last week there was fill installed on the property. Do you know what
That was
this
illegal
fill?
dumping, it had nothing to do with us.
So you're planning on removing that?
I'm
Phil?
gonna have to have it removed, yes.
Because I think it's would be frustrating to you to have that, to accommodate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We didn't dump it there, had no knowledge of it.
okay. Well, as Terry suggested, why don't you have, your permit's still good, so,
Thank you.
and basically, we, basically what we just need is to have you sort of catch up on some of the things that aren't current. And the biologist report on the state of the trees and that kind of stuff is something that, if you could get that done within the next month before we, just so that we have it. But other than that, I think there's no other violations out there, are there, other than?
I don't, my recollection, and it's only a recollection, I can see you have a sizable file next to you
Yeah.
that might help one's recollection. But I'm not sure that drainage swale from the state road ever was perfected. I think that it, you were, when that was done, I think you were well removed from the project at that point, as I recall.
No, actually, it was installed, John Paul Garcia, I believe, did a drawing for the town.
Yes, he did.
And it was approved, and then it was installed by Warren, Advanced. And I thought it was approved because it seems to be functioning, which is, catching all the water and then depositing it into a catch pond, if you will, 10
Like a
feet outside the kitchen
stilling
door.
basin.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it makes sense for John Paul just to, look at it and just certify that, this was done in accordance with the plan that he prepared, rather than have somebody else have to go out there and do it, so.
So I think that's one solution. I think, and perhaps if John Paul had any questions on how it is
Or any engineer,
performing,
you don't have to
we
tell
may
John.
have a professional engineer.
Yeah.
I'd like to be able to coordinate the review of that with Bob Criscolo on behalf of the commission, because I think that's an essential feature of the site plan that has to be resolved. Is the electrical line into the house yet?
It is not.
And is it planned to be underground?
Yes, it is. Eversource just replaced the pole within the last 2 months.
Wow.
They wanted to use a different pole from the original plan, so they just replaced the pole. So now we're able to dig and to run the line to the house.
So you're liable to get, groundwater the minute you dig a trench on that site. You're liable to get some groundwater. So that's that underground electric service will go from a different place than what is shown on the site plan, which I believe was in conflict with that drainage swale.
Yes.
My recollection was.
Correct. The original plan was to bring it from a pole that was closer to that swale. And now it's moved down. I don't know what the distance between the two is, but it's moved down quite a bit.
We have to be careful with those things, because they become a drain from the state highway.
Right.
Trenches.
Sure.
Unless we maintain some closure at the state, because for many years we had uncontrolled state highway water running into the site. And I think that's I haven't seen that in recent years, by the way, ever since the formal curb cut was put in.
Right.
I don't think it's been draining from the state highway. But at one time, there was a lot of water on that site, and I believe it was the state highway water.
Okay, so we have a biologist report on the plantings. We have somebody looking at the drainage area to be sure it was built the way it was supposed to be built, and replacing the couple dead trees bushes that you're already aware of. So those, is there anything else that you're aware of, or that at this point, or?
Well, in all other regards besides the electric service, are we following the original plan? Has there been any other changes to the plan?
No.
So that involved a lot of as I recall the plan, and now unfortunately I'm doing completely on recollection. There was a large semi-pervious area between the house and the outbuilding. Is that still going to be done, or is that going to be changed to asphalt or concrete?
I don't think we know yet, but it most likely would be semi-pervious still
Correct.
with block.
Because the drainage matters.
Yes,
Yeah, of course.
yes.
And,
Of course.
and if there is going to be a change,
Yeah,
then
no,
that would
there's
be
no plan for a solid surface, for asphalt or
Right.
concrete surface.
That would be, my concern.
Yeah.
This many years later, because that would affect the drainage and that things, and it was a substantial area.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else have any comments or questions or issues? All right, well, we'd be happy to see it completed, and I'm sure you guys are too.
You bet. Yep.
An understatement.
Yes, exactly. Today was a day where we're trying to move old things along, so.
Wonderful.
But anyway, so I don't know, good luck, and if you can follow up with those few things, then, we'll be happy.
We'll get it
Very
taken care of.
good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Anybody else here on this application? Okay. All right, thank you. And there's no need for action on this. Oh, it's not an application, so it's just a discussion. Any correspondence? No. Enforcement officer report, anything new to report, Terry?
Absolutely nothing new to report.
Since we had dinner and we're all tired, we won't go over commission goals and directions and regulation changes. We have no site visits for the next month. Approval of minutes. Chris had emailed and also passed out the minutes from last meeting. I wasn't here, so I won't bother voting on them, but
I would move to approve as submitted.
Dave Bixler moved. We have a second. Jack seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, I abstain, but everybody else votes. So. All right, so 401 approved. We have a July meeting. We still plan on taking August off, unless somebody objects. And we really don't have any business left over to deal with next month, so we'll see whether we have a meeting at all. But any other issues anybody wants to talk about? Nope. Okay. Well,
Just to thank you for the dinner.
yes. Thank you, everybody, because it was fun. All right, thanks. We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Dave Bixler moved. Jack seconded. 8:07. We're adjourned. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? We're adjourned. 8:07.